Alright, so yesterday we got some complete out of nowhere news about a open world Seven Deadly Sins game that is being made by Netmarble that according to the article posted about, Netmarble's press release and press coverage, is like supposed to be a spiritual sequel to Grand Cross, which I find should be very interesting. And I want to see what people think or are thinking about it, what people are saying, my comments in the video. I posted the video yesterday, got good views. People are very interested, very positive reception as well. Usually you can't see dislikes on videos, but I do have an extension to see it. If you want it, but if you want the extension, by the way, it's called. I think it's necessary to have YouTube dislikes, man. It's called Return YouTube Dislike. This is the name of the extension on Chrome. You can see YouTube dislikes again. Anyways, the reception is insane. Every comment is positive, basically. So, let's see what people are thinking about it. Take actually a look. So, the home PS3, he always has these trailers like HD. I don't know how he got an HD trailer, HD copy of this trailer because I couldn't find it. But look at this, right? It's so loud. Like, this is some seriously good animation. Like, if this is being made by the same team who originally made Grand Cross such a good game, I think that this could be huge. And I am very excited for the future. There's also, by the way, a solo leveling game. I've never read solo leveling. I will start it, alright? I will start it. I have nothing to do while I'm like doing like these grinds for a demonic beast, but I might as well like read it. But Soul Leveling is a game that my friend Mystic is really excited for, and I'll give it a read. But also by Netmarble. Netmarble is gonna it's gonna make some money. But yeah, let me see what people are talking about it. I always don't know how to say his name. Raz commented, "This actually looks insane. Think of the jiggle physics on Sun Daddy's Fic Fies." Yeah, like the physics again. Let's go back to the trailer here. It looks so good. Like, especially when Meliodas was like diving. Bro, this is so loud. Why is it so loud? Was diving underwater. We saw the clip there. Like, look at all these animations. It looks so polished. Again, this is a trailer, right? And trailer animations. I just realized. These are Grand Cross cut-ins. No, okay, I'll bring it up. These are Grand Cross assets. Are they gonna use Grand Cross assets? You guys probably already recognize these assets from the game if you played the game enough. Well, give me a second. I'll just bring up the Bon one because it's already here. Look, this is from Grand Cross. This 4 different, of the same, basically the same asset, and it's right there. That's funny. Like they're using the. I mean, they already have the assets. I don't think that's a problem. I think that they already have good art. Grand Cross has really good art. You know, if they just want to use it, I don't see a problem with that. If they even want to use the same 3D models, just make it more polished, that's probably what they're doing here, you know? This 3D model looks really good, and Grand Cross 3D models look really good, so, you know. I am viewing this as, again, like, I'm pretty sure there is an animation for the end doing this in the game. I am definitely certain that this is a 3D model imported from Grand Cross, and they are just making a little more like better lighting, better shadowing to make it like look much better. Like here, like this looks really good, but it's because there's like some color correction effects on it that make it look like it has a lot of like detail. This is clearly like a Grand Cross asset. And again, Grand Cross running on the this is Grand Cross for open world, basically, for what it seems. And they're trying to probably emulate Genshin. I don't see a problem with that. I'm actually completely on board. I don't think Grand Cross would die. I did comment, like, are they going to kill Grand Cross by releasing this game? Or are they going to just stop making updates for it? I don't know how it's going to happen. I think there's going to be 2 separate game developer teams. One that deals with Grand Cross and the other that deals with this. They're not going to abandon something that makes millions. They're going to invest in this new game so they can make a lot of money on top of what they... I actually agree. I don't think Grand Cross would die as in they're going to shut it down. I just think there's going to be less interest for it. Seeing that there's this game from the same developer that looks more polished, looks, more, newer, there's probably going to be much less interest for Grand Cross, which is approaching, 3 years old. And it's very inaccessible right now for new players when it comes to, new players download the game and then they're going to look on YouTube, what are people doing? And they see me with 350,000 combat class beating this big bird that they have no even a sense of how I'm possibly doing that. So I think if they're gonna make this game, they're probably gonna try to make like an approach where newer players are gonna have a easier time getting into it, and I would like that actually. But I don't think they will shut down the game. The game makes them profit, even if it's not as much profit as it used to. It still makes them profit. So I also don't think that they would shut it down, at least not for a while. I also heard this one. We need more open world games like Genshin. There's a reason it's big as it is. I hope they do well with this game and has a lot of potential. I also think so. In the 3D turn-based RPG market that Grand Cross is on, I don't know how much competition Grand Cross really has, but I think that this game having Genshin as competition, I think will be very good, because I think they could keep themselves more in check and improve better if they have like a big game that they're trying to overthrow. So I think that's a good thing. And also really good for Genshin. If this game does end up being very popular, which could happen, Genshin's gonna have a good competitor and might end up improving itself. It's basic competition, competition always improves the end product, always. So that's beautiful. I'm glad some DS will get some good feedback if this game does well. It's crazy what the demons know. I actually googled what Marvy Jack is. I have no idea, but should offend them. To be honest, I wouldn't even care if the game isn't free-to-play friendly. It's just that the idea of finally having an anime-based MMORPG that is easily acceptable and entertainment is more than enough for me. I do care if the game is free-to-play friendly. Not because I would be free-to-play, and it's always like, oh yeah, of course, you say that, but you're gonna be aware. It's like, yeah, but you gotta understand that I always, when I'm making videos, I always think on the back of my mind, like, yeah, I have all these things, but majority of the player base doesn't play the same game that I do. Like, not really. Like, when I play Grand Cross, I'm playing a very different level of game. It's much easier for me to actually play the game than someone that's free to play. It's just how it is, So I actually think that it would make the community happier and more positive if the game is more free-to-play friendly. I do think so. That always happens. The more Grand Cross became, I want to say, like, pay to win, the more aggressive and unhappy the community became. And that's just normal, That's just how it is. This promise looking forward to more news. Yeah, there's not much news. This just came out, and there's not much info. I am hoping that this game comes either late this year. I wouldn't mind if they take their time and even releasing 2023, like beginning of 2023, like a year from now. I don't mind, so long as the end product is good. That's what I'm hoping for. Because listen, recently with so many games coming out that are unfinished, I would much prefer if they take their time. But they clearly have been working on this for a while. I have my theory, and I think it's very plausible, that as soon as Genshin came out, and then Marble saw how successful it was, they allocated a lot of their staff to work on a 7th Deadly Sins version of Genshin, because it's an IP they already have. Grand Cross was already working and so popular. They were like, what if we made this game that we already have? We have the assets. It's gonna be so easy for us. We have all these assets. They, like, for the houses and stuff, you can see right here in the background, they already have all this done. Like, they have a lot of, like, this right here, they actually, like, make from scratch for sure, but, like, a lot of it, like the Grey Demon right here that spawns, they have the Grey Demon asset. They have the animations. They have already that done. So they're like, okay, what if, like, this is the running animation from the town. Like, the diving, they definitely made from scratch. But, they already have all these animations. It's just so smart for them to just throw them all in on a open world sandbox. And I think that Marble's making a good move with this. And I think it will be popular. I actually think it will. So I'm very happy with that. I mean, obviously, as someone that will definitely make content on it, I'm happy that they are moving to this approach. But even still, I think that if if this ends up being good competition for Grand Cross as well, I will probably keep playing both. So. Pray to the heavens that they make this a little more free-to-play friendly and don't release new characters every 2 to 3 weeks. I also don't think they would release 2 to 3 weeks because if they want to make the Genshin model, Genshin doesn't release characters every 2 weeks. Um, I think that the way Genshin does things is very profitable, and I mean they really rely on having goddamn terrible rates, like worse than Grand Cross, but lesser frequency and more like characters that are more impactful, I think is a good way to go. Because if you don't play Genshin, every character release is very impactful, really. Like for Grand Cross, we get characters every 2 weeks, and a lot of characters, although they have their own space in the game, end up being less important than the festival characters that come out. But on Genshin, it's like every character release ends up being like this thing, even if a few players don't like it and choose not to summon for it. Some players just main a character for their whole shtick, So I would like something like that as well. Like I would love to like main Escanor. Like right now on PvP, you can use the one, but he's not the best, But what if I could just main Escanor on this PvE open world game, no matter what, because I just want to main Escanor? Yeah, I think I'd like that. Choose of the characters was released. I hope they come through with this game, though I like a game that's free roam in it and stuff like Genshin. Though I never play Genshin, doesn't look like my type of game. Is any game more free to play friendly than Grand Cross? I have played my fair share. Grand Cross, although is pay to win, let's not make that confusing, is very free to play friendly in terms of currency. Obviously, there are games that you can play as free-to-play that are less play-to-win as Grand Cross. For example, I played Dokkan, and you can definitely play Dokkan free-to-play more easily than you can play Grand Cross free-to-play as you're playing, only because you're playing PvE, and you don't see other people's characters, right? So you don't feel as pressured to, slide that credit card. But in terms of currency, Grand Cross is actually so good. And in terms of actually banners you need to summon on, it's not that bad either. Most of the time, you honestly only want to summon for festival characters anyways, because their banners are so good. But yeah. I think say Grand is a fun game. I disagree. But it's not much. I actually agree, so I'll remove my dislike. Yeah, they could definitely work on something. Notice how Melly was fighting Gyan in the forest, not the castle. This might mean that boss fights or something like that can occur open world. I mean, this is trailer stuff, A lot of trailer stuff ends up, not actually coming out in the actual game. But yeah, it would be really cool if you're just like, because it seems like he just spawned out of nowhere. Or maybe this was like a triggered boss fight, like going to a certain region. Maybe you're just roaming around and, I don't know, like Melaskala appears and you just gotta beat the shit out of her. Like, maybe. We'll see. That'd be cool. The similarity is quite there with Genshin Impact. Then speechless after seeing Milieu's diving. Yeah, this diving animation. When I saw it for the first time, I didn't think much of it. But it's pretty cool. Like, it's gonna be after this, right? It's pretty cool. Like, just being able to, like, because on Genshin, you actually can't just dive underwater and just go swim around. That would be a pretty cool element to the game. I don't know how that would work if you would have like an amount of oxygen you have to keep on track. I hope MiHoYo will consider to make the next region. I don't know. I don't play Genshin anymore. Plus the item collection have more details, which some people he's talking about Genshin. Neymar was a brand company who get this game huge. Yes, and I think Netmarble knows that, they already had this successful game, and they're basically piggybacking off of it, like, hey guys, we already have a successful game with 7 Deadly Sins, it's gonna be good. So I hope it works. If it releases playable characters, Lily and Brynhild, they're pretty sure Nagato. I wouldn't mind if they actually bring the Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross lore into this new game if they bring the catastrophes and the Ragnarok, because I think it's a good thing. Like, maybe you disagree about the original characters. I've seen some people not want the original characters in Grand Cross, but I like the original characters. I think that they are like a smart addition to anime game, just for mix it up and have some fun with it. I would also, I mean, maybe not with this game, but with talking about Grand Cross again, I would love if they made like original forms, like Demon King, like Goddess Meliodas. Like, I would like that. I would like seeing that, but this is a different story. It's so cool to see some of the things different from Grand Cross. If this becomes real, then it will merge much with further games. Oh, I mean, if this becomes real. I mean, there was an element of, is this trailer even real? Because it came out of nowhere. But I guess I didn't know that Netmarble was having like a press conference, showing, what they're showing to their investors what they have in stock. I would actually drop Grand Cross for this. I don't think you'd have to drop Grand Cross, to be fair. But, if you want to play a game more often. Because the thing is, right? If this game is like Genshin, right? Which is what we expect. Like, it's clear. Like, I know I'm mentioning Genshin a lot, and that might be annoying, but it's clear. They are trying to capitalize on Genshin's success. It is very clear. I think that if it is like Genshin, it's going to be like a side game, because that's how Genshin is. Genshin is not a game that you can grind that much. And I wouldn't mind that, actually. Also, some people were pointing out that Meliodas' child is here. Yeah, they mentioned in the article that this will include the sequel Knights of Britannia, which I think is also cool. So, I hope Hawk's a playable character. I mean, probably, yeah. I could assume this game will release in 2 to 3 years by the time the Grand Cross main story is finished, along with other side stories like Ragnarok. Yeah, I also think that this shouldn't come like anytime soon. I think that this will be like a late this year, maybe 2023 type of thing. I don't think this will come anytime soon. People are asking, oh, when is this coming out? I don't think anytime soon. I would prefer even that it's not anytime soon, that they actually have a finished product that's good, and maybe even, incorporate Knights of Britannia, like this guy was actually saying in his comment. But yeah, so let me know what you think again in the comments if you didn't comment on this video. I'm excited. I think that this could be a turning point for me on content, and it could be very, very good, but we'll see. Also, I'll be interested in solo leveling. I'll start reading it at some point. I'm too stupid to read, but yeah, that's it.